Her laugh echoed across the backyard like the wind carried it just Dot for him. Higher, Tay. Higher, she squealed, tiny hands gripping the rope, tighter as she flew forward. 14-year-old Taehyung stood behind her, grinning as he gave the swing another push. You're gonna touch the sky at this rate, Dot little rocket. She threw her head back and giggled, hair whipping like silk ribbons Dot in the wind. God, her hair fell all the way down her back now, shiny Dot brown soft. She hated brushing it, but she loved when she left it open Dot like that. When the wind could play with it too. Their swing was tied to the thick branch of the oak tree that stood proud in the corner of their shared neighborhood yard. She still doesn't know how she managed to get it up there 2 summers ago. Honestly, he thought he was gonna break his neck. But the look on her face when she saw it, worth every scraped knee. This is my favorite place, she said suddenly, legs dangling mid-air, Dot slowing down a bit. It's like our little secret. He walked around to stand in front of her. That's 'cause it is. No one else knows about it. Not even that your school friend of yours. She smiled big at that, like he just handed her the moon. I won't tell Dot him, promise. Better not. He'd probably want to turn, and we both know this swing was made for exactly one Talia, and one Talia only. She stuck her tongue out at him. You love me too much? ... He flicked her nose. No. It's because you're small and annoying, and if I don't build things for you, you'll cry. I do not cry. She pouted. You cried last week when the ice cream truck ran out of bubblegum flavor. Because, that's my favorite flavor. That's what I am saying, you cry over silly things. She jumped off the swing mid-air, her giggle echoing as she landed Dot a little clumsily and took off running. Talia, he yelled, laughing as he chased after her. That's cheating. ... She turned back, tongue out. You're just slow, Tai. Oh, you're asking for it. He lunged forward, and just as she looked back again, her foot caught on a root hiding beneath the grass. Ah, ow. She whimpered, small fingers flying to the back of her head. He was by her side in seconds, dropping to his knees. Tall. What happened? Let me see. My hair. She sniffled, tears gathering fast in her big eyes. It got yanked when I fell. It hurts? Her long hair was tangled beneath her, caught under her small body. She tried to sit up, but winced. He gently lifted her up into his arms, careful with her scalp, cradling her against his chest. It's okay. I've got you, Tal. She buried her face in his shirt, her tiny fists holding onto him like he was her safe place. He wiped away her tears with the sleeve of his HOODIE. I hate my hair, she mumbled into his shoulder. It's always in the way. Don't say that. You've got the prettiest hair in the world. She sniffled again. Here, sit down, he gently guiding her to sit on the tree stump nearby. I'll braid it for you. ... She looked up, eyes still watery, but a tiny smile curled on her lips. You will? Of course, he grinned, crouching behind her. I'm the best braider in the neighborhood. That's only 'cause you practiced on your mom, she giggled through her sniffles. Now hush, Angel, the royal stylist is working. His fingers threading Dot through her strands. She giggled again. Music to his ears. He carefully weaved her soft hair into a braid. The afternoon sun dipped, low behind the trees, bathing them in golden light. He could have stayed Dot in that moment forever. Tai, she asked quietly, ... double quotes home. I think you're my soulmate. His hands paused for a second before moving again, slower now. He tied off the braid with the pink ribbon he always kept in his pocket for her. It was fraying a little at the edges now, but she loved it. There's no such thing as soulmates, Pablo. Hey. She huffed and elbowed him in the ribs. Ow. He laughed. You can't say that, she heaved. It's real. There's someone out there made just for you, my friend's cousin told her. He said when you meet them, you feel this electric thing when you touch, like your soul just knows, and you can't live without them. That's all booksy scenarios. I don't believe in them. ... She turned and stuck her tongue out. You'll believe it one day. My friend told me her cousin died because of it. His soulmate loved someone else. ... He started choking on flowers every day. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. He died because of love. Isn't that the saddest thing ever? Taehyung let out a slow breath. He didn't know if it was real, the soulmate curse people whispered about. All he knew was this: if someone walked into his life tomorrow claiming to be the one, he'd laugh in their face. Because he already had his person. She was sitting right in front of him, hugging her knees and talking about dying for love like it was normal. He would never leave her, not for anyone. If someone showed up years later, he asked suddenly, eyes on her braid, someone who said he was your soulmate, would you leave me for him? She blinked, then turned to face him fully. I would never, but I already know. I believe you're my soulmate, Tai. His heart fed ded. He smiled faintly. Good, because I wouldn't let you leave me for anyone else anyway. You talk so big, Tai, she teased. He reached down and plucked a little daisy from the grass beside them. You will see. He tucked the flower behind her ear, adjusting it so it stayed perfectly with her braid. Her cheeks going pink like they always did when he did sweet things. Then he pressed a soft boyish kiss to her forehead, and under their old tree, with the swing swaying in the background, he made a silent promise to her soul. One he swore he never break. Present day. He never kept that promise. He crushed it with his own hands. All of it turned to ash. The moment they lowered her into the ground, he stood there, dressed in black, soaked to the bone as rain poured, like the sky was grieving with them. Around him, people clutched their umbrellas tight, like they were afraid to feel anything real. Like the rain might wash away their carefully practiced sadness. They laid flowers on the cold, gray cement. White flowers. God. He hated them. He hated their shape. Hated how soft they looked. How silent. How final. They reminded him of her. Of her eyes that were rolled back. The blood. Those cursed flowers. Someone sniffled beside him. Someone whispered a prayer. But he couldn't move. He wasn't sure if the wetness on his cheeks was rain or tears. He doesn't remember crying, but he could feel it. That awful tightness wrapping around his throat, like something sharp and ugly was clogging up his insides, rising slow. He wanted to scream, but his chest wouldn't open. He swallowed, hard. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. She was gone. And it was his fault. He wished he never came back. He wished he never opened his damn mouth. He wished God. He wished he could turn time back and just stay in his dorm in that cold city, pretending like everything was perfect. Pretending like he didn't rip her heart out with words. He couldn't take back. His lungs burned like they were filled with smoke instead of oxygen. He couldn't stand there any longer. Couldn't keep watching strangers toss white lies and white flowers over her grave. So he turned on his heel. He dragged his feet through the mud, shoes sinking with each step, the rain hitting his back harder now, like the sky was sobbing screaming. But him? He couldn't cry. Why couldn't he cry? Why couldn't the tears just fall and end this slow, sick feeling crawling through his chest? Why couldn't his body just fall apart already? His jaw clenched so hard it hurt. His fingers wouldn't stop shaking. His whole body felt like it was going to collapse under the weight of 1,000 I'm sorry's he never said. Everything fucking hurt. He walked until his legs ached, until the rain blurred the world around him, until his vision swam and all he could see was her face from that day, the last day. He didn't even realize where his feet had taken him until he stopped in front of it. Their home. Or at least what used to be the small white gate. The rusted mailbox. The chipped flower pot she refused to throw away because she thought it looked charming. It still stood. All of it still stood. But the warmth, the laughter, the music they used to play in the kitchen while dancing barefoot. Gone. Just like her. And now he stood there, in front of the place they once built with too much love and too many dreams. The place that had heard every fight, every whispered I miss you, every kiss. He didn't know what to call it anymore. Because it wasn't a home. Not without her. The door open like it hadn't been touched in years. Though he knew it had only been 2 days. 2 days at the house. It felt like it had aged 100 in her absence. Everything was still. The walls were holding their breath. Even The air was afraid to move without her permission. The lights were off, the curtains still drawn the way she always liked in the afternoons. The rain tapped softly against the windows. Now, gentler, as if even the storm knew this house was in mourning. And maybe it was. Maybe the damn house missed her more than he was allowed to. Every chair, every table. Even the cushions on the couch seemed to slump lower than usual, grieving. He swallowed thickly, forcing his feet forward as his eyes scanned. Everything that used to be theirs. That used to be hers. That was like walking through a memory that didn't want him anymore. The hallway was quiet, her slippers still sat by the door. Her sweater was still hanging on the hook, still smelled like her. Like jasmine and strawberry shampoo and comfort. When he pushed open the bedroom door, the cold hit him like a slap. It shouldn't have been cold, but it was. Even the bed seemed smaller. It looked curled in on itself, trying to fill the space she left behind, and then his eyes fell to the bedside. There. A single pink petal lying on the edge of the white bedsheet, her favorite one, the one with tiny suns printed all over it. There were faint spots of red near, the petal dried and dark now. Faded. He knew what it meant. The last piece of her. He walked slowly, his fingers reaching out like they were touching a flame, and when they brushed over the petal, it curled slightly. He picked it up carefully, cradling it in his palm like it was made of glass. Then he wrapped his fingers around it, curled them into a tight fist. Tighter. Tighter. His throat burned. Why couldn't he cry? Why couldn't he just fucking cry? His knees hit the floor beside the bed before he realized he was falling. His breath came out jagged, broken, as he dug his fingers into his scalp and yanked. Hard. Again. Harder. Go cry. Damn it. He whispered, voice shaking. Just cry. Nothing. Just that sick feeling in his chest, that lump in his throat, that ache behind his eyes that never became tears. He rocked forward, forehead pressing to the mattress. It still smelled like her. Everything still smelled like her. But she was gone. And it was his fault. Flashback 4 months ago. The door opened slowly after the second ring. He hadn't even stepped out off the porch yet when it happened. And then there she was, Talia, his Talia. The face he dreamt of 1,000 times in the last 8 months, 1 week, and 5 days, he counted. He counted every damn second like a man starving for air. Her hair was down, just like he loved it. Soft waves fell across her shoulders, a little longer now, messier than he remembered, but God, it suited her. Her skin was paler, her frame thinner, but her eyes, her dull, lifeless eyes, lit up, like tiny stars had returned home to their sky. Like the universe borrowed a bit of magic just to remind him what hope looked like. Die. She whispered it like she wasn't sure if it was real. If he was a ghost she accidentally conjured up from a dream. Her lips trembled around his name like it was the only word she still remembered how to say before he could even take a breath. She threw herself into his arms, wrapped around him like she never wanted to let go. He was her warmth and safety, and every summer morning they used to share. He didn't breathe. Didn't know if he even had the right to anymore. Years ago, he would have hugged her back without thinking. Would have lifted her off the ground and spun her around, laughing into her neck while she screamed at him to put her down. But now he stood there, arms frozen at his sides, like a stranger trapped inside a memory that no longer belonged to him. He felt like a thief. A liar. A man who didn't deserve the softness of her touch or the way she buried her face into his chest like he was home. Her home. Double quotes. Tay. She breathed again, voice cracking as she tightened her hold around him. You're really here? She sounded like a little girl again. And he couldn't stop himself. Finally letting his arms move slow and hesitant, curling around her back. Like maybe, just maybe, she wouldn't disappear if he held gently enough. But even in her embrace, he felt the guilt crawl up his spine like iced hot water. She still smelled like strawberries, like rain, like the home they built in late-night calls and early morning texts. But his arms trembled as he held her, because for the first time ever, hugging her felt like a lie, and even though she held him like nothing had changed, everything had. She pulled back slightly, her arms still around him, her hands moving Dot up to cup his face, warm palms, gentle fingers. Just like before. She looked at him as if she was trying to memorize him all over. She still couldn't believe he was real. "You're really here," she whispered, her thumbs brushing lightly under his eyes. "I missed you. I missed you so much, Taehyung." And he cracked. A breath of a smile touched his lips. It was small and sad. Double quotes, yeah. He whispered. Her eyes lit up more, even now. She was glowing just from his smile. She dropped her hands from his face, still so close, and looked past him. She suddenly remembered something. "You didn't say you were coming. I thought you were still in." She stopped. "No, actually, I don't even know where you are anymore, do I?" She gave a breathy, awkward laugh. I saw that news piece a few months ago about that explosion in Morocco." She looked up at him, "and I thought about you." "Isn't that where you were last time? It was months ago." "I was so worried," and she stepped back a little when he didn't respond. "I'm sorry." "Got you. Must be so tired, and all that must have drained you." "All it matters that you are back." She turned quickly toward the kitchen, hands already reaching to tie her hair up. "What should I make?" "You probably didn't eat anything decent. Do you want rice? Or maybe ramen? Or wait, you used to love that sesame soup I made." She hadn't changed. Still her. Still trying to feed him before she even fed her heart. Always putting him first. Always caring about his comfort and not her pain. And that did something to him. Twisted a hot knife in his chest because he didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve her. And when she was about to step away off to the kitchen, off to take care of him like always, his arms wrapped around her waist, pulling her close again, tighter this time. "I missed you," he said quietly, the words scraping out of him like they had claws. "God, I missed you." Her body stilled in his arms, and then she melted right into him. Tears rushed into her eyes without warning. He felt the tremble in her breath, saw the shimmer build before it even fell. She looked up at him, eyes wide and wet. He didn't know who leaned in first, didn't know whose breath hitched, or whose fingers gripped tighter, but their lips were molded together, slow and shaky. So full of everything they didn't say in those 8 months, 1 week, and 5 days. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't clean. It wasn't soft music and flowers and sunshine. It was raw and real. Familiar like coming home and realizing you've forgotten what warmth felt like until it hit you in the mouth. He kissed her like she was the only thing that ever made sense, and she kissed him back like she was afraid this would be the last time. Maybe they both knew it was. Her hands were gripping his shirt like she was afraid he would disappear again. "I missed you so much." She whispered against his lips the words, brushing his skin like a ghost. He pulled back, breathless, forehead resting against hers. Why didn't you contact me, huh?" Her voice cracked in the middle, and he could feel her eyes burning. "I waited. Every single day, Tay. I waited for a call. A text. Anything. Why did you just—" He couldn't let her finish that sentence. Didn't want to hear it. Did not want to admit how cool he had been. He leaned forward and kissed her again, silencing her with his lips, with his breath, with his regret, and softly, into her mouth, he whispered, "I'm sorry. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough." She pulled back, sniffling and still smiling. How could she smile? Her voice small and shaky. "I was planning all these months to not talk to you, to show you attitude, to ignore you, because how dare you forget about me?" Her hands bunched in the fabric of his shirt again. "But look at me now." He shook his head, eyes closing as he kissed her again, just once, and said, "I'm sorry, Angel." She lost her footing in that moment. Maybe it was her knees going weak or her heart giving up, and they stumbled. Her back hit the mattress, and a breathless giggle slipped from her lips like sunlight through clouds. And that sound tore him in two. He hovered over her, hands on either side of her, staring down at her like she was the most fragile thing in the universe. She reached up, fingers brushing his hair out of his eyes. "Still so handsome," she whispered. "Still mine." He leaned down, kissing the edge of her jaw, then her cheek, then the corner of her lips. "Yeah," he murmured, "even when I'm a coward. Even when I don't deserve you." Dot dot, she cupped his face again, slower this time, with both hands as if she was holding something fragile. Her thumbs brushed gently under Dot his eyes. You're not a coward, she whispered, and you deserve me. All of me. Dot always have. Dot dot, their lips met again. It was slower this time, but desperate. Like they were kissing for all the days they hadn't, all the nights they spent alone. They kissed until the lines between love and pain blurred. Until their dot limbs tangled together on the bed, loose and heavy. Until they were gasping between kisses, lips swollen, foreheads pressed, skin sticking from sweat and warmth. When their bodies gave in, they stayed like that, curled up under Dot the covers, skin to skin. Her head rested on his chest, his fingers softly brushing up and down her spine, her legs wrapped lazily around one of his. He held her close, Dot like he didn't want even a breath of space between them. Why are you so quiet today? She whispered, her breath warm against Dot's collarbone. Taehyung didn't answer. He just kept tracing little circles on her bare Dot back with shaky fingers. Tay? She called again, softer this time, almost scared. She leaned back, just enough to see his face. Her fingertips touched his Dot jaw, guiding his gaze back to her Dot. Double quotes, please. Talk to me. Her eyes searched his like they were trying to find something familiar. Why won't you say anything? I feel like I'm still dreaming, like you're not really here, and if I close my eyes, you'll be gone again. His throat tightened, but still no words come out. Just the guilt, clenching inside him so loudly it was deafening. I don't want to wake up, she said, more to herself. I want this Dot to be real. He kissed the top of her head gently, held her tighter. His breath stuttered against her hair. The circles he was drawing on her back turned into slow, trembling lines, and finally, he spoke. Something happened. His voice came out hoarse, almost broken, like he hadn't used it in Dot days. Maybe because he had not to speak anything real. Not to Dot tell the truth, or even his lies. She pulled back slightly, just enough to look at him, her fingers still, resting gently on his shoulder. Dot dot, double quotes. What? She said quietly. What happened, Tay? He stared down at their hands. They were still locked together. Her fingers were curled through his so trustingly. He didn't deserve that Dot trust Dot. He swallowed. I've been thinking about us. Dot dot, she blinked slowly, waiting for him to continue. And I think this Dot between us, it's not working anymore. She didn't say anything at first. Just looked at him, stunned, hurt, confused. What are you even saying? She whispered. How can you say that? He hated himself. Every damn word tasted like glass in his mouth, Dot sharp, bloody, and bitter. I'm saying, I can't keep doing this to you, to us. I don't even know if I'm coming back every time I leave. I don't know if I'm gonna get shot or tortured or vanish in some goddamn alley, and you'll never even get a call. You wait every single day for a man who doesn't know if he'll not make it back alive. I go on missions where my life is a coin toss. And even when I do come back, I don't even know how to be here, Dot, anymore. I could die tomorrow, Tal. You've always known the risks. We both knew. And I still chose you. And I never asked you to fix anything. I just want you, however, you come. That's the problem, he whispered. You give everything. And I give Dot nothing back. Don't say that. She held his face. You love me, that's everything. He looked down again. Tay, she said, voice trembling. You still love me, right? Tal, listen to me. I can't do this anymore. He said, pulling back now, Dot sitting on the bed as he pushed his hand through his hair. Look at yourself. Look at what I've done to you. You don't even look like you used to. Your eyes, they used to shine. Dot, now they just look tired. You're tired. I'm tired because I've been waiting for you, Tay. She sat up too, because you stopped calling. You ignored my texts. You disappeared for 8 months. What was I supposed to do? You were supposed to move on? She blinked. What? I stayed away, ignored your call so you'd let go. His eyes were Dot full of pain. So you'd hate me. So you'd stop waiting like your whole life depended on me? My whole life does depend on you. She screamed, you're my soulmate, Taehyung. My fucking soulmate? You think I'm just gonna Dot stop loving you because you say so? That's not how this works. Tal dash dot dot, she shuddered. I grew up with you. My childhood, my dreams, Dot, my everything has you in it. You were there when I lost my first pet, when I had my first nightmare, when I got into college. Every memory I've ever made, you're in it. Even my sadness has your dot name in it. My happiness, my comfort, my peace. It's always dot been you. Her voice cracked again as her eyes filled. How can you expect dot me to just erase all of that? How do you expect me to just forget it? You're not erasing it, he muttered, looking down. You're just dot closing the chapter. Oh, fuck you with your poetic bullshit, she snapped, her eyes wet dot and furious. It's not a book. This is my life. This is our life, and you're telling me to just stop. Dot dot, his voice rose now. I'm telling you to survive, Tal. Do you even hear yourself? She cried. You want me to survive dot without the one person I survive for? I'd rather you hate me than watch you die waiting for me. She stared at him like the air had been knocked from her lungs. You think I'm not already dying? You think waking up every day without dot knowing if you're alive isn't killing me slowly? You think hearing your dot name in my head but not in my ears doesn't feel like someone is digging their nails into my ribs every second of the day? He flinched because she was right. And it hurt. You don't get to tell me to move on, she said. You don't get to stand there and decide what's best for both of us. Like you're the only one bleeding. Talia. His voice shook. This is the only way I know how to protect you. No, her eyes narrowing through her tears. This is the only way. You know how to run dot double quotes dot. He shut his eyes. His shoulders slumped like the weight of her. Truth pressed down on him hard. I would wait for you forever if I have to, she said, like always. Like she had been saying for past 7 years. Talia, please. Would you be able to live without me? He looked away. Yes. Bullshit. He almost sobbed. Her voice was so sure, so full of love. Even now, she crawled on her knees on the soft mattresses until they were knee to knee. She gripped his face between her hands so gently, so tenderly. It dot broke him in places he didn't even know were still whole. Taehyung, she whispered, her thumbs brushing over his dot cheeks. Look at me. He didn't want to. Couldn't, because if he looked her in the eye, he'd never walk away. He'd never let go. Look at me, she begged again, and he finally did. Her eyes, broken and beautiful, searched his face like they were holding dot on for dear life. Can you live without me? He swallowed hard, his jaw tightening. Everything inside him screamed no. No, he couldn't. No, he didn't want to. No, he would dot never be whole again without her. But he had to say it. He had to lie dot dot double quotes. Yes, double quotes. Her fingers froze against his skin. Her whole body stilled like the dot world stopped turning just for a second. She took in a sharp breath and started coughing. She looked away, her eyes watering, but she took a deep breath before looking back at him. Tay, she asked, so soft it barely reached him. Do you even love dot me anymore? Dot dot, he closed his eyes and whispered the one lie that tore them both dot apart. No. Her hand slipped away from his face like petals falling from a dead dot flower. The silence that followed was the loudest thing he'd ever heard dot dot, and it shattered both of them.